Week 3, Game 3, NHIAA's Division II football. On the air here at Granite Town Media, I'm Kevin St. Onge, Spartan Field in Milford on a beautiful fall night for football, joined by Dennis Shepard, coach of the Milford Mustangs and president of the Milford Booster Club. Dennis, welcome to a beautiful night of football here in New Hampshire.
Thank you, Kevin. It's a great night for Spartan football.
Milford Spartans come into the game. 2 wins on this early season so far. They took care of business opening night right here on Spartan Field with a 35-21 win over the Cavaliers of Hollis Brookline. They were a spread them out, throw it around the yard team. Then they go on the road to the west side of Manchester and face the Blue Knights of Manchester West, predominantly a running team. Handled business there, 35-0 at halftime, running clock in the second half. Manchester West puts up a couple of late scores. 35-13 is your final. Tonight we get the Pythons of Pelham High School, and they bring a balanced attack to the field tonight. 256 yards passing on the season, 222 on the ground. They're averaging a $111 rushing, averaging a $126 through the air. It's going to be a challenge for Coach Jones' defense, I think, to play a very balanced attack. They're not going to be able to key up on one particular aspect of the opponent's offense.
Right, definitely. This week will be a test for the Spartans. We need a test. This will be a great division test for us. I think the Spartans definitely, you're going to see a more balanced game from the Spartans as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see some more swing passes, a few more different type of runs. You're definitely going to see the Gavin Erda options, but I just think we'll have some more numbers and players' names to call today. These are 2 teams that know each other. The coaches know each other, and I expect nothing but a great game.
We'll definitely be talking about Gavin Erda throughout the night as the Milford Spartan Marching Band takes the field. We have a number of pregame festivities this evening. We'll be getting to them one at a time. Until we get to those pregame festivities and the coin toss, the national anthem, and so forth, we'll talk a little bit about the Pythons. They were 5-4 a year ago, 5-3 the year before that. Played a real tough Alvern team to start the season, held them for 3.5 quarters, didn't let them score, only let them score once. The second score was by interception. Alvern, last year's Division II state runner-up, and opening the season with high expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. 5-3, 5-4. Those are. You're missing the playoffs by 1 game, and as we talk to the Pelham coaches, they understand one more win, they're in the playoffs. So
here come the Milford Spartans. They are taking the field right now as we are getting ready to get underway here in Division II football South here in New Hampshire. Milford last year beat the Pelham High School team 35-14. I believe that game was at Pelham. Previous year, 28-7 here in Milford. We're getting our pregame announcements from stadium announcer, Mr. Steve Martin.
Only from the fans and respect by everyone for the officials.
While we're getting those announcements, we will
We ask that you please stand.
take a moment now to listen to the Milford Spartan Marching Band perform our national anthem. Anthem. We have a few more festivities here, Dennis. Pretty interesting tonight. The Milford High School community is recognizing an award-winning group from the high school called the Young Kasamas. They are a group of high school students that visit elderly folk in several of our area nursing homes and retirement communities. And we have a few members or a few residents from those communities that are joining us in the far left corner of the end zone. Tonight we're recognizing Bessie Linscott, a 100-year-old woman and a former Marine, Brian O'Reilly, Ron Dutrazak, and Earl Townsend. And as I indicated, they are watching from the far left corner of the end zone. We'll probably get a camera shot of that at some point this evening. And talked a little bit about the Young Kasamas, Dennis. Your experience with the with that group. What do you know about it?
I know that the young group is that group of Young Kasamas is managed in sense from Steve Scannell. Steve Scannell is a coach of the Spartans. You know Steve Scannell as a longtime coach of the Spartans.
Absolutely.
And Steve is a great mentor to these players and getting them involved with the community. One aspect of the Spartans football team is community, family. And they do a great job with that. Steve Scannell has those boys going down, and they have a great time with them. They go down to the Crosby Street. They go down to the Elms, Ledgewood. They go down and play games with them, converse with them. They listen to the great stories that these people have, and everyone has a great time. I know my son enjoys going down, can't wait to go down.
I have to confess that I was not familiar with the term kasama, but I did learn recently that it's a Filipino word meaning companion. It's a collaborative venture that was started in 2013 by a couple of football players, and it really is a pleasure to hear about our young people spending time with some of our elderly folk and in a positive and enjoyable way like that. Apparently, we're also going to have one of the residents, I believe it's a resident from Crestwood, Earl Townsend, who will flip the coin at midfield in just a few moments. He'll be escorted to midfield by two of the Young Kasamas, Caroline Boudreau and Autumn Arell. So while that activity is ongoing, Dennis, let's talk a little bit about the Milford Spartans tonight. This is a Spartan team that is currently tied for first in the early season with Sauhegan. Two teams in the South Division that remain undefeated, Milford and Sauhegan. I believe it's 6 teams in the conference are currently 1-1. Only, I believe it's Sanborn 0-2. A lot of balance here in the South Conference as we start this 2019 football season.
There's a lot of balance, as far as what those records show, but we have seen quite the swing in scores each week. We've seen some scores 40 something to nothing, 35 nothings. So when each team has a game that they've won, there's been quite a differentiation in points. So it will be interesting to see tonight. I expect tonight to be a much closer game, a well-fought, battled game. So we'll see what happens, though.
So at midfield right now, the Milford Spartan tri-captains, Kyle Forsley, Junior Ugu, Gavin Erda, they're also joined, I believe, by Colton Burrows, together with Earl Townsend for the coin toss. I can't make out the numbers of the Pelham players from here, but we'll get you an indication on the coin toss in just a moment. Keys to the game tonight, the Spartan defense versus this balanced offensive attack by the Pelham High School Pythons. As we mentioned earlier, almost evenly distributed between pass and run. And so far, Milford's been able to load up on either the pass against Hollis Brookline or the run against Manchester West. This will be a substantial test for the Spartans.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Spartans get tested in the corners yet. We haven't seen Trevor Coyne get tested in the corner. We did a little bit against Hollis, but not too much. And we haven't seen Sean Hanahan on the other side get tested. A lot of the times what we're seeing is Gavin Erda stepping up and backing up that linebacker core, but we haven't seen our corners get tested, so this could be the night.
So another key to the game tonight, ball security, always a key to the game. We saw a couple of fumbles in the opening night. Spartans put the ball on the field, and unfortunately it didn't hurt them in that game, but in a closer game, either tonight or down the road, ball security could be key. No fumbles against Manchester West, although they did have a couple of takeaways, so that was encouraging to see. The health of the offensive and defensive line, though, we've talked all year so far, these first 2 weeks, about how thin Coach Jones feels his offensive line. As big as they are, they don't have a lot of depth there.
Right. And we've seen that in the first week. We were concerned about that. But we did have, with Colton,
And the back judge, Jeremy Clay.
with Colton Burrows being out for the past couple weeks, we have had a couple players step in and do some great things on that offensive line. It hasn't hurt the Spartans at all so far. Last week we got to test our JV team in there. At the same time, we gave up a few yardage, as expected. But again, I think we're getting a chance to see what we have for depth on there. So
we'll talk a little more about some keys to the game, but right now the Pelham Pythons will be kicking off to the Milford Spartans. Back deep for the Spartans, Caden Zielinski, Logan Barnhill, and I believe Sean Hanrahan. Squib kick right up the middle is fielded by Matt Hannon. He sits on the ball right at the 31, maybe 32-yard line, where the Spartans will start their first offensive series of the night tonight. Beautiful night here at Spartan Field. This is also a charity night. New Hampshire Tackles Hunger is being run here at the Spartan Field, with food donations being made at the entry to the field. We'll talk a little bit more about that at halftime, or perhaps as the game goes along.
certainly.
Pythons come out, typically play a 4-4 base defense. They can adjust to a 4-3, cover 4, 5-3, cover 3. Milford with their flex bone offense. Looks like they send Jake Tewksbury far left. Gavin Erda keeps the ball, gains maybe a yard, gets back to the line of scrimmage anyway. First play from scrimmage. Just underway here at Spartan Field. Lost half a yard, it appears. No gain, really. Second down and 10.
Less than a yard.
Interesting start to the game where we're taking the ball right to the middle.
Front four of the Pythons, pretty good size, but they do start 3 underclassmen, 2 sophomores and a freshman, to go along with junior Zach Jones. Same formation, but we have a whistle on the play before it gets rolling.
Penalty. The call is illegal procedure.
Procedure call against the Spartans, so that'll set them back on second down.
5 yards, and it'll be second down.
So unlike we've seen in the past few weeks, a little bit of a slow start.
On the Spartans.
Spartans opened the season with a 4-play drive for a first score of the season against Hollis Brookline. Took them 2 plays, half that length of time. 2 plays against Manchester West. We've run 1 play so far, and we're at a 2nd and 15. The give is to Ugu. Ugu fumbles the ball. His first carry of the night, exactly what we were talking about right at the outset, ball security. Junior Ugu, who only had 4 carries against Manchester West, put the ball on the field against the Cavaliers of Brookline. He's done it again tonight against Pelham. Pelham has great field position to start their first series of the game. Milford's 30-yard line, 1st and 10, 10:54, no score. We're just underway here at Spartan Field. Leading the Pythons out to this tremendous field position is senior quarterback Ian Hoey. Hoey's thrown for 256 yards on the season. He spreads the ball around. They also have 5 running backs. Hoey looking to the right side, rolling right, releases the ball downfield, connects with Colby Travis. Travis is run out of bounds about the 4-yard line. So right out of the gate, defensive backfield of the Spartans being tested.
Exactly. And that was to the corner, so I missed to see where the corner went on that one.
Gavin Herder on the tackle for the Spartans. It'll be first.
I think the corner went with the fly pattern. Erda came underneath and made the tackle, or forced him out of bounds. 1st and 5. Officials are taking time out to move the entrance tunnel for the Spartans to get it off the end line of the end zone. 10:33, 1st and 5. Hoey under center. The give is to Travis. Travis is met by the left side of the Spartan defensive line, Joe Shepard there in particular, along with Sean Hanrahan. Small gain.
Travis on the carry.
2nd and goal.
It'll be 2nd and goal. The ball is on the 2-yard line.
Pythons took the fumble from Junior Ugu and have moved the ball from the 30 to the 2. He gives the ball up the middle to his fullback. His up back is in the end zone. Pelham Pythons open the scoring 6-0 here at Spartan Field. 9:48 of the first quarter. Not the way head coach Keith Jones was probably looking to start this game, Dennis.
No, this is the first time the Spartans have been down.
Kicker for the Pythons, Jake Hurling, is a junior out of the hold of Matt Muiz. Herling his kick is up. He splits the uprights. That makes the score 7-0 Pelham. So the Spartans will send out their kick return team at the 9:48 mark, down 7-0. Dennis, we talked about ball security as one of the keys to the game. The other key to the game tonight that we're going to watch, and we've already mentioned a little bit, is that Pelham starts underclassmen on both their offense and defensive line. 2 sophomores on the offensive line. You've got a freshman and two sophomores on the defensive line. Be interesting to see how those youngsters pick up the intricacies of that aggressive yet still very much a finesse part of this game.
Certainly, and
Back to kickoff for the Pelham Pythons is Zach Jones. Deep for the Spartans are Hanrahan, Barnhill, and Zielinski. Looks like Barnhill will field it on the hop. He's coming to the right hash, turns up field, squares his shoulders. He's tripped up at about the 39-yard line.
Logan got a first down.
He was taken down by Matt Muiz. Spartans will take over on their 38-yard line, 1st and 10. 9:42 to play. We'll see if Milford can clean up their ball security here. Hasn't really been a problem. 2 fumbles in the first game didn't cost them. They won that game 35-21. But a different caliber of opponent tonight, it appears. Gavin Erda under center. Gives to the second man through. That is Caden Zielinski. He picks up a nice gain close to the first down. We'll wait for the official's indication here.
Almost 10 yards.
Running hard off tackle to the right-hand side. From this angle, it appears to be short, and it appears they're going to call for a measurement. The officials will take a closer look at this. So Milford runs what they call a flex bone offense. Gavin Erda, the quarterback, he's really a magician with the ball. He has 2 reads basically on every play, whether to give the ball to the fullback, diving up the middle. If he keeps it, he reads the defensive tackle. If the defensive tackle crashes on the fullback,
right,
Gavin will keep the ball, and then he's looking at the defensive end. If the defensive end shows his number, he pitches to one of the slot backs coming around.
And then, or sometimes he has the option to pass to the tight end.
Erda under center. He keeps the ball, actually goes around the right side. Appears that he had enough forward progress for the first. Oh, he had the first down. Excuse me, he had the first down already. This is now on first down. He picked up 3. I missed the call from the officials that they had earned the first down. So that was a first down run by Gavin Erda. 2nd and 7 from the Python 47-yard line. Just inside the 48-yard line. Hanrahan in motion. The give is to Ugu up the middle. He holds on to it pretty strongly this time, and he drags 4 Pythons with him. Picks up a first down just shy of the Pelham 40-yard line.
And we're securing the ball now. We got 2 hands on that thing.
First down is at the Pelham 41-yard line. 8:19 remaining here in the first quarter. Score is 7-0. Milford on their second drive of the game. They're They fumbled on the second play of the game. Erda keeps the ball. He's grabbed in the backfield by 3 Pelham Pythons, led primarily.
On the carry was tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Trying to identify the initial defender there.
There's a few. I'm not sure. I think it was 55.
Ed Schumann on the tackle for the Pythons.
That was number 74. I thought it was Justin Roach, but I may have that wrong.
Pelham, 45-yard line will be 2nd and 15.
Loss of a couple yards on that. 2nd and 15. Erda rolling to his left, throwing back across his body to the center of the field. Oh, almost caught by Joe Shepard. He had it in his hand, bounced off his hand. Would have been a first down. So the incompletion falls to the ground. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 15 for the Spartans.
Nice seeing the pass being done this week.
It'll be 3rd and
down and distance kind of dictating that play for the Spartans.
There is a penalty on the play.
Flag on the field, and the Pythons are walking backwards a little bit, so the ball is moved to the Pelham 35-yard line.
Holding call.
Against Pelham.
Holding call against the Pythons.
Ball down to the Pelham 35-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Spartans.
So that's a little more manageable on 2nd down, 2nd and 5. 7:01 to play, first quarter. The Spartans hustle up to the line of scrimmage. Wide formation to the left side. Erda under center. There's movement along the left side of the Spartan line. Yeah, procedure penalty against the Spartans. That'll bring the ball back a little bit.
Loss will be 2nd and 10 from the.
So we're seeing a few more mistakes this week so far to start off our game.
What do you attribute that to, Dennis? Is this just the sense that this is a bigger game and maybe a little, early game jitters, or?
I would say so. I think these two teams know each other. They've played against each other. They know that each of them are tough components. So I think that's what we're seeing here. It's just a little bit of game jitters.
2nd down and 10. Erda under center. Zielinski, Barnhill in motion. Erda keeps it, turns up inside the tackle, and he picks up about 4, maybe 5. That'll bring up another 3rd and short, 3rd and a long 5. Ball is spotted at the Pelham 35-yard line, just inside the 35-yard line.
Gavin picked up a nice block that was given from Kyle Forsley and went right off of that zero hole, they call it, right off of the right hip of Kyle. So
Kyle
nice
Forsley,
game.
one of the tri-captains here for the Spartans. From that center position, he moves along that line very well, very nimble.
He certainly does.
2nd and 5. Erda gives to the second man through the hole. That was Zielinski. Zielinski moves the ball to the 31. Depending on the spot, the spot's going to determine whether it's a first down or not. Appears to be short. Looking about 6 inches, maybe a foot, according to our official.
4th down and about a foot to go. The ball is on the Python 31-yard line.
Milford looks like he's going to run the offensive play here, although they do have Colin Gregg on the field tonight. He kicked 5 PATs against Hollis Brookline, but Coach Keith Jones is going for the first down here in the early going against the Pythons. Erda keeps the ball. He has about 3 yards, picks up the first down with ease.
And again, he's seeing the hole being opened up from Kyle Forsley, and then Mike McGuire, I believe, is on the right side with Kyle.
Yeah. So that's a first down at the 5:02 mark of the first quarter. The ball is spotted at the 27-yard line. Tewksbury wide right, Hanrahan in motion. The give is to Hanrahan. He goes off tackle left, picks up 3, maybe 4. So the Spartans are right back to their original game plan, though, Dennis, right? They came into this game a running offense. Gavin Erda running for about 350-something yards in 2 games. The Spartans are averaging 299 rushing on this young season. And despite the fumble to start the game, the second play of from offense, the Spartans have gone back to their bread and butter, which is this flex bone offense and an aggressive run. Gavin Erda under center with Junior Ugu directly behind him. The give is to Barnhill. Barnhill tries to turn the corner, but he's met there with a nice form tackle by Pelham's number 55. That's Ed Schliemann. Senior made a nice tackle from behind. Really wasn't a form tackle. It was really more of a grab tackle. He was going for the ball. Looked like he was trying to strip the ball.
We did get a couple yards out of it. It was a nice run by Barnhill, and makes third down a manageable third down right now. Third and 3.
Exactly, 3rd and 3 at the 3:40 mark here of the first quarter. Andrew Burns wide left for the Spartans. Matt Hannon in motion. Erda keeps the ball. He's being bumped back a little bit, nowhere to go, trying to change his fields, losing yardage in the process, trying to turn the corner now to the right side, and he is tracked down there by the Pythons. Big number 55, that's Schliemann again.
A lot of running by Gavin Erda for a loss.
A significant loss. That's going to bring up another 4th down. Now it's going to be 4th and looks like about 12.
The loss was back to the Python 30-yard line. It will be 4th and 13 for the Spartans.
This defensive line, as young as it is for the Pythons, are very aggressive. Good pursuit of the quarterback. They're getting penetration. Something that the Spartans didn't see against the Cavaliers or against Manchester West.
And they're actually looking a little bit bigger than we are.
Certainly more aggressive right now, maybe a little more sure of themselves. Confidence makes a difference. We have a flag on the play. Erda looking to pass the ball, does so. Intended for Barnhill, falls incomplete, but I think the flag is going to bring that play back.
There is a flag on the play.
That may be an offside.
There was movement along the left side of the Spartan offensive line as well.
Preliminary call is against the Spartans.
So with that penalty, the Pythons will take over on downs, 1st and 10 from their 30-yard line. Second series of the game for the Pythons. From the Spartan perspective, a little better field position if you're going to turn the ball over on downs now. 7-0 is still your score. Spartans are down by a score. Ian Hoey gives up the middle to number 2, Charlie Caton. Caton runs hard to the right side. Picks up maybe 1, maybe 2.
And Kyle Forsley stood that man up.
Gain of 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8 for the Pythons. Joe Shepard on the tackle for the Spartans.
2nd and 8 as the Pythons come out of their huddle. Tight formation for the Pythons. Hoey under center. The give is to number 6, Jake Hurling. Hurling, 1st down, still up, stood up, but definitely going to move the chains for the Pythons.
Definitely a little bit more of a test on the corners.
Jake Hurling on the carry for Pelham. Gain is out to the Python 43-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Pythons.
Ball is moved out to the Pelham 43-yard line, and 1st and 10. Hoey under center, tight formation again, double wing. Hoey gives to the up back. That was number 6, Jake Hurling again. He picks up a yard, maybe 2. Moves it.
Joe Shepard with the tackle.
Ball now spotted basically right on the 45-yard line. 2nd down and 8.
Jordan Clark on the tackle for the Spartans.
Spartans are having a tough time on this defensive line to make penetration and stop the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage.
Game was out to the Spartan.
Ball carrier for the Pythons was Matthew Muiz.
Milford has called time.
3rd down and about a yard and a half. Milford's called timeout at the 3:42 mark of the first quarter.
So we have Coach Jones in there making some conversation with the players. I think some of that is on the line that we have our heads down. I think he's probably telling some of those players, get your head up and make that tackle, drive through the waist and not trying to reach.
Footwork is so critical along that defensive line. Your first step is so important to get you heading in the right direction, preferably downhill towards the ball carrier. Seems like the Spartans, as big as they are meeting their match right now on with this Python offensive line really taking the initiative.
Yep, I think the Pythons are here to play, so we just got to step up our game right now.
Head coach Keith Jones told us during the Coach's Corner show earlier this week that he always expects a battle when Pelham comes to town or when the Spartans travel to Pelham. They're well coached and they're very physical, and they're showing that here in the early going. Spartan defense back out on the field. One thing we thought we might see is with Junior Ugu along that defensive line for the Spartans, that with his size and speed that he'd be all over Python quarterback Ian Hoey. Ian Hoey gives to the second man through. I believe that was Hurling again. The junior with the carry moves the chains, picks up the first down, moving the ball to the Spartan 40-yard line. Right hash mark moving to our left.
Our Spartan defensive line is just getting beat to the ball right now.
Logan Barnhill on the stop for the Spartans.
Wake-up call for the Spartans here in game number 3. Double wing formation again for the Pythons. There's a fumble on the play. The ball's on the ground. Looks like Sean Hanrahan has picked it up for the Spartans. So you give it away, then you want to take it away. In the battle of turnovers, it's all even now. Spartans won, Pythons won. We'll see if that has an effect on the score. I may have misstated the time. 6.3 seconds remaining here in this first quarter. Spartans taking over after the fumble.
Sean Hanrahan had a great game last week, so here we are seeing him step up and getting that fumble recovery this week.
Ball is spotted at the 39-yard line. One play here before we'll switch ends for the quarter. Joe Shepard switches from the right to the left side as a tight end. Gavin Erta drops back, 3-step drop. Now he's looking to run, pulls the ball down, turns the corner.
Way back out there.
Lets the ball go deep downfield. Ball's intended for Tewksbury. Third attempted pass, third one falling incomplete. We have a flag on the play. It's possible that Erta crossed the line of scrimmage before he released that ball.
There is a flag on the play.
Probably an illegal forward pass as Erta was running out of the pocket. Looked like he was going to pull that ball down and run. However, with the official coming over to the Spartan huddle.
Again, great pursuit on that. The Pelham line right now, they're just beating on both sides of the ball. Pelham is beating the Spartans.
Either way, that will end the first quarter of play with the Pythons of Pelham coming into town with their 1-1 record and taking on this undefeated 2-0 Spartan team and showing no fear whatsoever. They took an opening series fumble on the second play of the game from the Spartans. Junior Ugu put it on the ground. Pythons fell on top of it. 3 plays later, they're in the end zone. 30-yard drive. Time of possession, minute 6, 2-yard touchdown run. Pythons up 6-0. Extra point, good. 7-0's your score as we have concluded the first quarter of play, and the Spartans have been penalized on this last play of the quarter. The officials are still talking about
The penalty is against the Spartans.
where to spot the ball when the teams flip ends of the field.
Well, that will end the first quarter with the score: Pelham 7, Milford 0. Does anyone know what that penalty was? No.
here in the press box, we're still trying to confirm the nature of the penalty. My thoughts are that it was that Gavin Erda crossed the line of scrimmage and was an illegal forward pass, based on what I saw in real time. Next year when we have replay capability, we'll be able to run that play back and let everybody know. But for now, we're going to go with that as our call. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 14.
Well, the booth believes that was an illegal pass from beyond the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 14 from the Spartans. Ball is on their own 35-yard line.
Andrew Burns wide right for the Spartans. Gavin Erda under center, calling out his signals. The give is to Junior Ugu. Junior Ugu running hard, picking up most of that 14 yards. Might not have the first down, but it'll be really close.
It is close, and that time we saw the offensive line beat Pelham this time, and we haven't seen that much this game. So,
and the difference, Dennis, when the offensive line beats Pelham off the ball, which they should because they know the snap count, the Milford running backs are running downhill into the Pelham defense.
Right.
13-yard gain brings up a 3rd and 1 at the 48-yard line of the Spartans. Inside handoff to Junior Ugu. Also running again with 2 hands on the ball. He's making sure he doesn't fumble it again. That moves the chains. 1st down and 10. Ball is spotted at the Pelham 49-yard line. Spartans are in Pelham territory.
we're seeing the Spartans run a couple dive plays here with Junior Ugu, hopefully getting some momentum with him running downhill, as you said, and hopefully we can see this line start to push our way down to the scoreboard.
You have a 242-pound battering ram like Junior Ugu. You definitely want to soften up that interior defensive line. Logan Barnhill in motion. The give was to Ugu, however, up the middle, and he was met at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. Might get a little bit of forward progress. Probably not. Right at the line of scrimmage.
Maybe 6 inches.
Python 49-yard line.
Spartans are being tested here for sure. If they have playoff aspirations, they're going to have to be able to handle every type of team that exists here in this NHIAA Division II South Conference. And Pelham is giving them all it can handle so far. Gavin Erda gives the ball to, I believe that was Matt Hannon, turned the corner on the left side. Making out the number. Yep, Matt Hannon. Picked up about 3 yards on the play. Slow pile coming up. Bottom of that pile was senior Colby Travis, who made the initial hit for the Pythons. 9:46 to play. 7-0 is your score here at Spartan Field. A beautiful fall evening here in Milford. Andrew Burns wide left for the Spartans. Erda under center. Looks like we have a timeout on the field.
Milford calls time.
Milford calls their 2nd timeout of the first half. 3rd and 6 with the ball on the Pelham 45-yard line.
Seen 2 teams tonight battle it out. Probably the best game that we've seen in the division so far this year.
This Pelham team has been around for a little while. They've won a couple of Division IV state championships back in 2007 and 2008. They had 2 undefeated seasons back then, and that was under, I believe it was under his head coach, Thomas Bababian. 11-0, 11-0, 22-game win streak. That's an impressive winning streak. It was only just recently that the Bobcats of Plymouth had a 27-game win streak snapped to start the season. They lost to Bow by, I believe it was by 1 earlier in the season, for opening night of the season, actually.
Right.
So although they played at the Division IV level back then, they have won a league title here in New Hampshire's Division II South. I believe that was in 2013. So this is a strong program. They've have winning seasons each of the last 2 years. Burns wide left. Gavin Erda. Pass is intended for Joe Shepard on the pop pass. Tight end pop pass. He was wide open. He hauls that in. He walks into the end zone untouched. Falls incomplete. By my By my stats, that's 0 for 4 on the passing tonight, maybe 0 for 5.
That is 0 for 4. And if you look back at last year's game, probably around the same time in Pelham, I'm guessing it's probably around the second quarter, 9 minutes, Joe Shepard made that same pass for a touchdown.
The whole point of the flexbone offense is to soften up the interior line of the defense, get the defense to stack up on the run, and then try to exploit that with a big play. Trips right, Erda rolling to the right. He is looking for, can't see who caught that. Pass is complete, flag on the play. We'll let you know who the completion was to.
Hannon?
It's either Hannon or Hussey. I'm not sure from here.
Hannon caught the pass.
Matt Hannon made that.
Flag on the play, though. We'll wait. We'll see what we have here. Holding on the defense.
The preliminary call is holding against the Pythons.
It's kind of a messy first half of play with fumbles and a lot more penalties than we've seen in the first two games by the Spartans in particular. This penalty on the Pythons, that'll move the chains, and the Spartans will pick up a first down at the 9:17 mark of the second quarter. Still down 7-0, but the Spartans are threatening.
Python 35-yard line.
Well, we talk about the Spartans being smash mouth football, but I think at least the first quarter, we saw the Pelham making the little smash mouth themselves.
Tyler Hamlin wide left for the Spartans. Erda looks like he gives to Ugu. Ugu's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain, may have even lost a half a yard.
The line of scrimmage by the defensive line.
Zach Jones was the first one in there for the Pythons.
Second and a long 10. Ball is on the 35-yard line.
Second and about 10 and a half now for the Spartans. Jake Tewksbury back into the huddle for the Spartans as they hustle up to the line of scrimmage now. Second and 10 and a half, plus or minus. Tewksbury wide left. Junior Ugu fullback right behind Erda. Sean Hanrahan in motion, takes the handoff from Erda. He turns the corner left. A lot of room along the left sideline. He's brought down from behind by the Pythons' number 6, Jake Hurling. Nice, strong run by Sean Hanrahan.
Hanrahan dirty laundry on the field, though.
Flags on the play again. It's in that spot where you kind of expect it's going to be offensive holding. So that'll bring back a nice run by Sean Hanrahan. Hanrahan had 2 carries against Manchester West for 32 yards and 2 touchdowns. Talk about efficient offense. But neither of those runs were what Coach Jones talked about when he talked about Sean Hanrahan. It was the blocks that he threw.
Yep.
Nice, excuse me. Nice run by the senior here, but that will be negated by a holding penalty. That brings the ball all the way back to the Python 42.5-yard line.
It looked to be about 2nd and 17.
Where the Spartans have a second down and a lot of territory to cover. Timeout on the field. Milford takes a timeout. 7:55 mark, second quarter. Second down and 17. Coach, what are you dialing up for a play here?
It looked like we were in a pass play there. We had everybody out wide. We had Joe Shepard out wide left. We had trips on the other side of the field. So definitely we were showing pass, and apparently Pelham called a defense that was covering it up. So Jones, called a timeout.
So with that timeout on the field, we'll talk a little bit about our halftime festivities that'll be coming up here. Milford cheer team, always a lot of fun to see, and the Milford Marching Band will also be taking the field, performing their 2019 program, Space. We have some visitors coming to the press box at halftime that will be joining us after the marching band's performance. We'll tease those people once we confirm who they are. A couple of different folks familiar with the Milford school system and the Spartan football program.
Great, and if you're watching here live with us on Facebook at halftime, feel free to come down to the game. We have New Hampshire Tackles Hunger with WMUR and New Hampshire Food Bank. We are collecting food with our help from Contemporary Automotive here in Milford, New Hampshire. We're collecting food for the Share Bank here in Milford. So Contemporary is donating $1 per pound, so we're hoping to load that truck up through the month.
So we're back out here now, 2nd and 17, trips right for Gavin Erda in the shotgun. He's running the play. He's keeping it up the middle, off tackle to the right, picks up about 6. Not nearly enough for the first down. But chipping away at the territory the Spartans will have to cover to move the chains. Ball is spotted at the 36-yard line.
It'll be third down and about 12 yards to go.
7:29 to play in the second quarter. 7-0 is your score. 3rd and 12. Spartans come out again. Looks like they're going to go trips right. Gavin Erda in the shotgun. I don't think we saw shotgun in either of the first 2 games, so a little wrinkle for the Spartans. He's rolling to his right, looking to pass, does so, completes the pass to, I believe that's number 25, Eric Hussey.
Well short, though.
Third is pass. Complete to Matt Hannon.
Check myself. Matt Hannon was the recipient of that pass. That'll bring up about a 6-yard gain. That'll bring up a 4th down.
The ball is on the Python 31-yard line.
You had it as Hussey as
It
well?
was Eric Hussey that made
Eric
that
Hussey on the reception then. So 4th and 6. Spartans are going for it here. Second time they go for it on 4th down by my stats. Trips left. Erda in the shotgun, rolling now to his left. He pulled the ball down, and he's trying to get the first down. Again, from my angle, hard to tell for sure.
Unfortunately, we had another flag down on the field.
He was brought down hard by number 56, Nicholas Carroll, senior for the Pythons. Erda a little slow in getting up. And Laundry on the field once again.
The call is against the Spartans.
So the penalty goes against the Spartans. It was a procedure call as well. So that'll result in a turnover on downs, and the Pythons will take over with 6:23 remaining in the second quarter. Pythons are up 7-0. 27-yard line where they'll start this series. Ian Hoey out under center for the Pythons. The give is to number 2, Charlie Caton. Tries to turn the corner, lost a yard, maybe 2 on the play.
Stop for a short loss on the play.
Well, didn't lose quite as much from my perspective as I thought. Lost about a yard, maybe.
It'll be second and a short, 11 yards to go.
We've reached the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. Pace of play really slowed down here a lot with all these penalties, Dennis.
It has, and this is we're grinding it out right now. Not the pace that we've seen the past 2 weeks.
The pitch is to the second running back. I believe that was Caton.
Caton on the carry. Pushed out of bounds.
So short gain for the Pythons, 3rd and about 7, maybe 8. Jake Hurling wide right for the Pythons, Hoey under center. Hoey gives to the up back, that was Caton. Caton running hard, moving the chains for the Pythons.
Caton is running hard, and we're missing tackles.
Pythons came into this game, very balanced attack, 222 yards rushing, 253 yards passing, running the ball very effectively against this Spartan defense. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're going to keep running until the Spartans prove that they can stop.
Right.
Jay Curling wide right again. Caton resets into the backfield. Hoey under center. Nice
Michael McGuire with a nice tackle in the backfield.
Michael McGuire got great penetration and found Colby Travis right as he received the handoff from the quarterback. About a 4-yard loss.
About 5 yards on the play.
Mr. Martin tells us in the PA it's a 5-yard loss, so we'll go with what he says. Second down and 15 here at Spartan Field. Great stop by McGuire.
We need a few momentum changers here right now.
2nd and 15. Hoey under center. Passing down for them if they decide to. He does drop back. He's flushed out of the pocket and brought down about the line of scrimmage. Big number, 56 for the Spartans.
Once again, we're seeing Mike McGuire making that, sealing off that end and making penetration. He forced Pelham to go down in the middle, flushed him out of that pocket. So
you have a better look at it than I did then. Who was it that brought him down on that, Dennis?
70 made the Mike
initial.
McGuire made the initial grasp in there, but
Here we go.
we're going with Noah Santos with the tackle, number 60.
3rd down and long, 3rd and 16. The give is up the middle to Caton. Caton is met in the backfield again. Spartans getting more penetration by their interior defensive line. Caton is brought down. 4th down and 16 now. 3:15 mark. 7-0 is your score.
Logan Barnhill with nice penetration there, and with our linebackers, we're starting to get some excitement on the defense and starting to show.
Jake Hurling wide right. Oh, we're going to punt here. Pythons are back to punt. Zach Jones lets it go. It's fielded by Erda. He can't field it cleanly, gets it on the bounce, moving up the right sideline, still moving on the sideline in front of the Pelham bench. Steps out of bounds, it looks at about the 45, maybe 46-yard line.
So with 2:42, we got some good position here. Hopefully we can get in here.
Decent field position to start a series. If the Spartans can stay away from penalties and fumbles, they've shown that they have the ability to move the ball. Whether that's running or passing, they've moved it both ways as well. They've shown a little more balance than they have in the first two games of the season, but they haven't been able to sustain a drive and stay away from the penalty. 1st and 10, 43-yard line. Erda under center. Tewksbury wide left. Hanrahan in motion. Erda looking to pass. Lets the ball go. Intended for Zielinski. Overthrew everybody. That pass falls incomplete.
Looked like Zielinski stumbled a little bit, so he lost a step on that.
It'll be 2nd and 10.
Erda's had some open receivers downfield a couple of times tonight. Hasn't been able to connect. Hasn't had to throw the ball very much in the early part of the season. And tonight, just not looking sharp and delivering the ball to his receivers, who are getting open. Joe Shepard was wide open, hit him in the hands. Unfortunately, that one fell. This one was an overthrow. And here we are, 2nd and 10. Hanrahan gets the second man through. He goes off tackle to the left side. And he picks up a Spartan 1st down.
Short Hanrahan on the carry for the Spartans.
Moves the ball into Pelham territory. They haven't moved the chains, but we can tell from our vantage point that's definitely a 1st down. There go the chains now.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Spartans. The ball is on the Pelham.
So we showed the dive play there, and on the dive play of the past series, we had handed that off to Junior Ugu, but this time we handed that off over to Sean Hanrahan with a nice gain.
Erda under center. He drops straight back. 3-step, now 4-step. Throws to the sideline, intended for Barnhill. Overthrew that. Very lucky that wasn't picked off.
That was a dangerous pass.
Jake Hurling was, Jake Hurling was right there roaming the flats looking for that ball. Lucky it fell short. 2:06 to play. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10. Excuse me, 2nd down and 10. Tyler Hamlin wide left for the Spartans. The give is to Matt Hannon. He picked up 2, maybe 3.
Matt Hannon on the carry.
Before he was met by Ed Schlamone.
Was out to the Pelham 40.
Once again, our magician showing a handoff to Junior Ugu, but then it goes to Hannon.
That leaves the Spartans with about a 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7 with 1:46 to play here in the first half.
On the stop.
Andrew Burns checks out of the game. Erda jogging back to the huddle. Here come the Spartans now, 3rd and 7. Jake Tewksbury wide right. Shepard switching sides, left to right. Matt Hannon right split back. He's in motion. Erda, however, drops back to pass, steps up in the pocket. Now he drops it, and he picked up a first down right up the middle of the Python defense.
That was a pass play all the way, but the pocket broke down. Pelham made a nice penetration. Good heads-up play by Gavin Erda.
Spartan first down at the 1:07 mark of the second quarter. Spartans again moving the ball. If they can stay away from the penalty and sustain a drive, it might be a better game for the Spartans. Andrew Burns wide left. Erda dropping back. He's flushed from the pocket now, throws the ball intended for Burns, falls incomplete. Again, a dangerous pass, almost picked off by number 17, senior Matthew Muiz.
Dangerous pass. Burns had never turned his head, but it did stop the clock at 44-3 here in the second quarter.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Spartans. The ball is on the Pelham.
We are under a minute to play. 2nd down and 10. Trips right formation, at least initially, unless they reset. Joe Shepard is split a little to the left. And it looks like we have a timeout on the field. Timeout on the field by Pelham. They didn't like the look they were getting from the Spartan offense, and so they take a timeout, 2nd and 10. They'd like to keep the score right here if they could.
And we again want to thank Contemporary Dodge.
Boy, when we talked to Coach Jones before the game, he wasn't kidding when he said this Pelham Python team would come in here and play disciplined football and play aggressive smash-mouth football. They're giving the Spartans all they can handle, and they're getting the better end of it right now. Up 7-0 here in the first half. This is a Pelham team that held last year's state runner-up, Alvern, to 1 score, and a defensive turnover made it 15-0. They're showing why they're going to be a tough out if they can get through the gauntlet that is the South Conference of New Hampshire's NHIAA Division II.
Certainly the Spartans' first test of the season so far. And they have them a little bit on our heels at the moment.
19-year head coach Keith Jones has seen so much. He's seen more football he's probably forgotten more football than I'll ever see. We'll have to see what kind of adjustments he makes at halftime to get his young charges in place. Trips right again. Erda in the shotgun formation. Doesn't even look to pass. Takes the ball up the middle. Drops the ball. It's on the ground. Looks like it bounced right back up to him, and he rolled right through that tackle. The spot, though, will be on the Python 30-yard line, and going without a huddle, 3rd down and about 6, maybe 5. Erda back to pass. Pass intended for Shepard. Shepard trying to get to the sideline. Can't get out of bounds. So the pass was complete on the first down, though. That stops the clock. And so with the clock stopped, the chains will move, 1st and 10.
Nice hands on number 42 for that catch.
Milford has called time.
18-3 left here in the second quarter. See what the Coach Jones is dialing up.
So a side of the Spartan offense we haven't seen through the first 2 games. Coach Jones letting Gavin Erda step back and throw the ball. He's shown his legs in the first 2 games, 354 yards rushing. The Spartan offense doing a wonderful job on the ground, but we're seeing a different side of the offense. Missed on the first 5 attempts. They're 0 for 5 in the first 5 attempts. We'll check the stats at halftime, but now Gavin Erda seems to be settling in and delivering the ball to a location where his receivers can handle it.
And we're seeing a little bit more protection on the offensive line for Gavin. Still some breakdowns where Gavin has to make some choices and run with the ball, but we're certainly in a situation right now where this is a pass opportunity.
So the ball looks like it's spotted just inside the Python 25-yard line, maybe 24.5-yard line. 18.3 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Erda under center. Tewksbury split left. Erda dropping straight back. He has time. He pumps, pulls it down. Now he's looking to run to the right side, has the corner, turns it upfield, and is met at the 5-yard line where he's brought down. Flag on the opposite side of the field. We're going to have to wait and see what this penalty is. Nice gain by Erda. If the play stands, it's a first down.
Spartans.
Spartans are flagged again on a big play.
And the preliminary call is
so that's going to bring the ball back quite a ways for the Spartans.
That hurts with 6.8 seconds left.
There's no question that the Pythons have outplayed the Spartans here in the first half. If the Spartans can somehow find a way to punch it in the end zone and tie up this game in the first half and be able to get out of this first half at least dead even, it would change the conversation I think that Coach Jones would have with his team in the locker room. However, if they're unable to score, that conversation is probably going to be about the fact that they're only one score down, and they're fortunate to only be one score down at this point.
Exactly, right. And you know those penalties are going to be talked about.
Clock has run out at the end of the first half of play. 7-0 is your score, and the Spartans head to the locker room with a number of things to talk about. And it's not what we thought. We thought on defense we'd have to talk about their ability to handle the pass and the run. Really, what they have to talk about is cleaning up penalties and ball security. Junior Ugu put the ball on the field on the second play of the game, and that resulted in the Pythons scoring a touchdown. And that's the only difference in the game so far. That's the only score that occurred as the result of a fumble by the Spartans. Otherwise, Spartans very fortunate.
They are fortunate. I think this is the first time that we are talking about our offense and defensive line being a little lackadaisical on the ball this time and playing on our heels. And we did see some of the our runs. Junior Ugu standing up a little bit more than normal. If Junior Ugu puts his shoulders down, we see him getting a few more yards.
Right now, we're going to step aside and let the Spartan cheer team take the field. We'll be back after the cheer team and the marching band have performed their 2019 showcases.
Mr. Smith from the Marching Spartan Band would like to thank the Milford High School Music Boosters for their efforts this year and their support of music at Milford High School. Thank you also to the Nashua Chamber Orchestra and Chapel Tractor for their donations. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Marching Spartans. Its 2019 mission is to explore strange new music, to seek out new experiences and face new challenges, to boldly go where no Spartan has gone before. This evening's musical selections include Mars and Jupiter by Gustav Holst, the overture to Dancer in the Dark by Björk, and music from Michael Giacchino's Star Trek. The band is led onto the field by drum major Catherine Riano. Color guard captain is Samantha Porizet. Percussion captains are Aidan Fiddlewell and Fiona Birch, and soloists this evening are Coleman Chappell, Jack Hansen, and Brian Meldrum. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your Milford High School marching Spartans.
Welcome back to Spartan Field. Kevin St. Onge, the voice of Milford Spartan football. We've just watched the Milford Marching Spartans perform their 2019 show, Space. Joining me in the booth here tonight, we're pleased to introduce brand new principal to Milford High School, Ms. Chaley Davis. Ms. Davis, welcome to Milford High School and welcome to the press box here at Spartan Field.
Thank you, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're brand new to this community, I believe, right?
Yes, I am. I've worked the past 3 years at Concord High School, and so I've just recently come to Milford. I began in earnest in July, but I actually started working with the district in April.
Excellent. And how has the start of school gone for you? Students went back to school in early September. Here we are on September 20th, about 3 weeks in. Mm-hmm. How are you finding it?
I absolutely love it. I was thinking last night as I left after the parent open house, I love my job and I love Milford.
Any surprises in the first couple of weeks? Anything that you weren't expecting as you started this new venture here at Milford?
So I'll say that I've been incredibly pleased with the warmth and the welcome that I've received from the faculty. And the students are so respectful, and I'm used to busier hallways, and the kids have been absolutely phenomenal so far.
That's great. Well, we're glad to have you here at the Spartans football game, and we're glad to have you here at Milford High School. How are you finding the first half? Spartans are down by 7. Not the result we were looking for in the first half, but what do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think this team has a lot of heart, and they go out there and they keep pushing forward and working really hard, and I don't think they're making it easy on the Pythons.
So the Spartans came into this game 2 wins, no losses. The Pythons came in 1-1. We have 24 minutes of football remaining, a second half. Anything can happen. You're going to stick around and watch the game?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. You're welcome to our booth at any time. It's really your booth. We're here as your guests. So here at Granite Town Media, we appreciate the opportunity to come and cover Spartan football, and we hope to see you maybe down the road as the Spartans make an effort, make a push to try to reach the state playoffs this year.
Well, thank you for having me, and I think they're going to go all the way.
Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our brand new principal here at Milford High School, Ms. Charlie Davis, and we thank her for coming in, and we're going to pass the headphones back off to our color commentator, Dennis Shepard. Dennis, we're going to get the second half underway in just a moment. Before we do that, though, we've got a couple of Spartan athletes here that are joining us. If you don't mind,
Sure.
We'll talk to them briefly before the second half gets underway. You're going to have to help me with your names, ladies. We'll start one at a time. We only have one headphone, so we're going to start with Ariana Erkeline. Ariana, what sport do you play?
I play field hockey. I'm a junior on the Milford Spartans field hockey team.
Tell me a little bit about your season so far. How have you girls done?
Well, we've definitely improved from last season. Last season we didn't do our best, but I can tell that our girls are working harder this year, too.
What position do you play?
I'm a forward.
And did you guys have a game today?
Yes, we did.
And the result was?
Victory,
Awesome.
3-1 over Hollis Brookline.
A little rivalry there with the Cavaliers of Hollis Brookline, right?
Yeah.
Ariana, why don't we pass the headset off to your senior captain, Caroline Boudreau.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, Ariana. Caroline, how are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. So, captain, senior year.
Yes, very exciting.
Happy to win this game today, right?
Absolutely.
That improves your record to what, 2-5, I believe, on the season?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. And did I hear that your name, were you part of the Young Kasamas group?
Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit about what you did at the start of the game tonight.
So tonight, I got the honor to escort one of our residents at our local retirement home to the 50-yard line so he could do the coin toss at the beginning of this game to
Tell us a little
off.
bit about the Young Kasamas. What do you do with that group?
So the Young Kasamas we're a group of students, and it includes a variety. We have football players. We have everyone coming together to support our community and go down and hang out with the residents. We play Uno, which is very competitive, and we also just spend time with them, get to know them and their stories.
Oh, that's great. That's a wonderful thing to do. Have you done this for just this year, or have you done this for a couple of years?
I've done this for a couple of years.
That's awesome. So that was Caroline Boudreau, and before her, Ariana Erkeline. I want to thank you both for coming up to our press box today and joining us here at the Spartans football game. Real quick before you go, Caroline, what do you think of the first half?
So the first half, I think we're holding ourselves pretty well. So the first couple of minutes, we got down by 7, but they haven't scored since, and that's a good sign of our defense, and I hope that our offense are able to take us home.
Caroline Boudreau, Ariana Erkeline, thank you so much for joining us. Well, good luck in your season, ladies. Keep working hard. Those wins will come as you put the work in. And maybe we can get you back here later in the season. You can tell us a little bit about how you got started and how we can encourage other young athletes to pick up field hockey perhaps at a younger age and help build your program.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Thank
We'll talk to you soon, ladies. Good luck in your season. We're back here in the press box. Dennis Shepard, thoughts on first half of play as we line up to start the second half of play?
Well, as we were speaking during that first half, we thought the Spartans were outplayed. Interesting enough that we had Colton Burrows come up here in the booth during that halftime while we had some great guests at halftime. But I asked Colton a few questions as far as what he thought was going on. He also thought that the offensive line, their defensive line, was a little bit off their heels. I asked him what he thought Coach Jones would talk about in the locker room. He thought, probably about getting a better push on that line on both sides. Getting that push would give Gavin Erda so much more time to take a look at that field on those passes. He had to rush a few times, make some decisions that he didn't necessarily want to make, I'm sure.
Colin Gregg's kickoff. We're underway in the second half of play. Charlie Caton takes it for the Pythons. He's working in the center of the field, picking his way. Now bounces it out to the right side where he is brought down by Hussey, and it appears Jake Tewksbury in on that tackle as well. So the Pythons will start the second half with possession, and they will start on their, it looks like they're 27?
The winning
27-yard line.
Number is 680-710.
So interesting enough on that one, Jake Tewksbury, number 88, one of the smaller guys out in the field, made a great form tackle, stayed down low and made that tackle. So here we are in 11:53 in the third quarter. Nice tackle by Sean Hanrahan on that run by number 2, Charlie Caton.
By Sean Hanrahan.
Looks like it's about a loss of a yard.
Second and 10 for the Spartans.
I'll be corrected. No gain. 2nd and 10. Pelham.
One last time, the winning 50-50 ticket numbers. Blue ticket 6.
And as we continue here, we worked on talked about the Spartans' defensive line and the offensive line need to make a better push. So certainly here in this spot here, we've certainly made a better push. The defense getting into the backfield there, and we saw that Pelham senior Charlie Caton had to scramble.
Hoey's pass intended for
Pass was intended for Colby Travis.
Travis unable to haul that one in. 3rd down.
A long 10.
10.5 to go
Pythons.
for a first down for the Pythons. Sorry about that, Dennis. Had to step away for a second there.
No problem.
Fatherhood never stops, right?
That's correct.
So 3rd down and 10.5. Here come the Pythons. Split formation to the left side. Hoey under center, Caton in motion. Hoey back to pass, drops it off in the flat. That looks like it was caught by Travis, I believe. Short gain will bring up a 4th down.
Once again there, we had the Spartans made a nice push on defense. We had Michael McGuire coming in from the left-hand side, the blind side of Pelham. And Joe Shepard is playing in that Mike spot in the linebacker and made a nice run in there as well. So the defense seems to have picked up a little bit. I'm guessing Coach Jones has talked them up a little bit. And
Zach Jones, the junior punter for the Pythons, back to punt for Pelham. Logan Barnhill set to receive for the Spartans. It's a short punt, however, and he will not have an opportunity to return that ball as it is bouncing near the Spartan 48-yard line. Not the punt that the Pythons were looking for, giving Milford really good field position to start this second half of play. Dennis, I don't know if you had a chance to discuss it while I stepped away, but the score is 7-0, and as messy as that first half of play seemed to be with penalties and so forth, Milford dominated time of possession, almost 17 minutes of play to Pelham's 7 minutes. Neither team was really effective at moving the ball. Pelham 1 for 1 in the air for 26 yards. They've only run for 39 yards. Both teams have put the ball on the ground, and that's really the only thing to account for the difference in the score at this point is Junior Ugu runs outside to the right, and he's still pumping those legs with an 8-yard gain.
And he was moving his legs with some vengeance here. We're starting to see the Spartan team, I think, have a little bit of a spark. I have a feeling some words were said in that at halftime, and twice now the defense has picked up. Now we're seeing the offense kind of moving a little bit faster. Hopefully we're seeing some surgence here on the line and making that push that Colton had talked about in the halftime with me.
7-yard gain for Junior Ugu, 2nd down and 3. Ball is at just inside the 45-yard line, 44.5-yard line of the Pythons. Erda under center. Hanrahan takes the handoff, turns the corner on the left side, picks up the first down, moves the ball inside of the 30-yard line, about the inside the 40-yard line.
We're seeing some great growth in the past 2 weeks by Sean Hanrahan. Sean had, the Sean of the past few years ago would have tried to take any hole that he could have. At this point here, he waited for his blockers, waited for that hole to open, and then made a nice push for the first down.
Showed good patience to get to the corner and let his blockers establish their blocks and hold their blocks. Hussey comes wide left. Erda under center. 9:05 to play in the third quarter. The give is to Zielinski. Zielinski moves hard on the right side. Nice long gain for Caden Zielinski.
Tackle for a long gain.
Zielinski, the 5'10", 180-pound sophomore running back for the Spartans, moves the chains. This is more like the Spartan offense we saw in the first 2 games.
It certainly is. We're starting to see some excitement on the offensive line.
1st and 10 for the Spartans, moving the chains. Tyler Hamlin wide left for the Spartans. Matt Hannon in motion, takes the handoff, turns the corner. Another hold penalty probably coming up at this time. We'll wait for the officials. Hannon running hard, though, before he's forced out of bounds.
He is running hard, making Pelham miss tackles. Exactly the opposite we saw in the first half.
Tony Zolt forced Hannon out of bounds. And we'll wait until the laundry gets cleaned up on the field. Holding is the call on the Spartans. So as the Spartans look to sustain a drive and move the ball, once again, the penalty bug coming back to bite them.
Yeah, we haven't cleaned that up at the half.
So we went through the Pelham statistics from the first half. These are all unofficial, of course. Erda looked like he was 3 for 10. He missed on his first 5 passing attempts. Not a lot of yardage there, 22 yards. Milford ran the ball pretty effectively, 22 carries for 83 yards. But again, second play from scrimmage, the fumble from Junior Ugu is the difference in this game. 7-0 is your score, 8:22 remaining in this third quarter. Erda under center. Tewksbury wide right, wide side of the field for the Spartans. Erda pitches to Ugu. Ugu squares his shoulders up and is moving downhill, picks up about maybe, we'll say 5, maybe 6.
Gain was inside the Pelham 35-yard line.
Seeing some speed in those feet by Junior Ugu, though.
Colby Travis, the primary tackler, was helped out by a number of interior linemen as well as they stretched that play out. Second and 20 now.
The Spartans with a 2nd and 20 from just inside the Python 35-yard line.
Andrew Burns wide left. Hanrahan in the wing together with Matt Hannon. Ugu in motion. He takes the handoff. He turns the corner on around the left side tackle and is running hard. Not enough to pick up the first down. That'll be a 3rd down and long. Delivering a blow, however, Junior Ugu is slow to get up.
The gain was to
Primary tackler, Edge Lamone. We called his name a number of times in the first half. Very effective play
with a 3rd down and
by the Python linebacker. Third and 13, 6:54 here in the third quarter, 7-0, still your score. I believe that's Hussey wide right for the Spartans. Erda under center. Erda with the option. He turns upfield. Flag on the play again. Nice gain by the Spartans on 3rd down, but I have a feeling that's coming back as well.
Looks like a defensive holding.
Well, that'll certainly change the complexion of this drive. Nope. No, they're walking the ball back this way, Dennis. That's a penalty on the Spartans.
I misinformation here in the booth.
We'll just wait for the officials to make the call. And that was a holding penalty against the Spartans. That marches them back again. 3rd down.
So penalties are killing the Spartans.
Time of possession, if the time of possession determined the outcome of this game, Milford would win going away, but they have yet to crack the end zone.
It'll be 3rd and
3rd and 17 according to the scoreboard here at Spartan Field. Milford do have available to them their field goal kicker, Colin Craig. Erda under center, Tewksbury wide left. The give looked like was to Ugu, but Erda reversed field, came back to the left side. Short gain for the Spartans. Center of the field. Ball is spotted just inside the 30-yard line, 29.5-yard line for the Spartans.
Looks like 4th and 14. 5 minutes, 50 seconds left.
Spartan offense staying on the field as they did in the first half. They had 2 opportunities to convert on 4th down, were unable to do so. We have a timeout on the field.
referee has called, Milford has called time. It'll be 4th and 14.
4th and 13 when we return to the action. This gives us an opportunity, Dennis, if you'd like to thank some of our sponsors. We didn't have a chance to do that at halftime.
Sure. So we'd like to thank, for the Spartans boosters, our sponsors, Contemporary Dodge, Gurney's Automotive, the Johnson family, Tewksbury Wealth Management, Dunkin' Donuts, Coco Realty, Sauhegan Valley Lacrosse, Crotchet Mountain Golf Club, Hurricane Hill Development Company, Maplebrook Family Dentistry, MG Sports, Milford Mini Storage, Prana Salon, Hitchner Manufacturing, Hometown Insurance Agency, Medlin Motors, and Philip Aubrey Optometrists. And again, we'd like to thank Contemporary Chrysler Automotive for their help with the New Hampshire Fight Tackles Hunger and WMUR, as we're doing that here at the at the stadium here at Spartan Field. And again, Contemporary will be still collecting any type of goods back at their facility throughout the month and making a donation of $1 per pound.
So 4th and 14 for the Spartans. Coach Keith Jones looking for the first opportunity, first conversion on 4th down. Flag on that play stops it before it gets started. Everybody's holding their hands up asking questions, what's going on? And we have a procedure penalty again against the Spartans. Best offense for the Pythons tonight is the yellow flag against the Spartans.
That's for sure.
Pythons with less than 100 total yards of offense, but when you factor in the flags, they're probably up over 200.
That's probably true.
4th and 19. Ball spotted at the 33-yard line. Erda in the shotgun formation, rolls to his right, looking downfield, lets the ball go. Pass is intended for Hanrahan, almost picked off though. Dangerous pass again. Ball falls incomplete. That was tipped by senior Matthew Muiz. So turnover on downs, and the Pythons will take over.
Good read by the Pythons on that.
So while we turn this over, it was great to have the new principal of the high school, Chaley Davis, join us and tell us a little bit about herself as she introduces herself to the school community here in Milford. It's also great to have a couple of field hockey players, Caroline Boudreau, a senior captain, and Ariana Erkeline. They won their game today against Hollis Brookline. Nice little rivalry game for them. 1st and 10 for the Pythons. The give is to Travis. Travis picks up about 4.
Eaten up by Joe Shepard, number 42.
Second down and 7.
To the Pelham 36-yard line.
Dennis, we'll continue a conversation between plays here about some other Spartan sports. The girls' soccer team improved to 5-0, and today they had a game at Bow, a clash of 5-0 teams. We'll have to check the score on that. Tight formation for the Pythons. Quarterback keeps it. Hoey keeps it up the middle, picks up a yard, maybe 2. Bunch of tough hits in there. Logan Barnhill came up strong.
And Hodges on that line, number 71. Samson Hodge.
Ben Merrill on the tackle.
Be a 3rd down and 5. We're at the 4:28 mark of the 3rd quarter. 7-0 is your score. Junior Ugu checking into the game for the Spartans.
Looking to add some speed on the nose guard, I believe.
Dan McHugh hustling off. Little spread formation for the Pythons. Howie turns and hands the ball to his tailback, number 2, Charlie Caton, on a little trap play, and that goes for about 7-8 yards, moving the chains, and a Python 1st down.
Ball is on the Python 49-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10.
Pythons haven't gotten into Spartan territory yet, but they're on the 49-yard line, knocking on the door. Spartan defense hallmark most of the game against Hollis Brookline, and then now again tonight, bend but don't break. Other than that first drive of the game, they've been bending but not breaking. Hoey drops back to pass, left side in the flat. Pass is complete. Short gain.
Logan Barnhill on the tackle.
Little screen pass to Matthew Meese is good for a short gain. That'll be a 2nd down and 7. That flips the field, though, and puts the Pythons in Spartan territory, 48-yard line.
We talked about that first half where the Spartans were a little bit back on their heels on that defensive line and the offensive line. Here we're starting to see a little bit more Spartans putting the pressure on.
Tight formation for Ian Hoey under center. Hoey takes the snap and gives to Caton. Caton running off tackle to the left side. Flag comes in on the play. And we'll have to sort out this laundry. That'll be a penalty against the Pythons. So after a steady diet of penalties against the Spartans, we have a penalty against the Pythons. That'll set them back
Foul Forsley on the stop for the Spartans.
to their 45-yard line. So just as they made penetration into Spartan territory, the ball gets moved back on the penalty, back into Python territory.
13 yards.
So we talked about the Milford girls soccer going to Bow for both the clash of the 5-0 teams. Milford had their first loss, looks like 6-1 against Bow.
That'll drop them into, I believe it's third place in Division II. Both of those teams were in second place at 5-0. Bow improves to 6-0 and joins Pembroke at 6-0. Hoey dropping back to pass, rolling now to his right, looking for Caton along the sideline. That ball falls incomplete at the feet of Milford's head coach, Keith Jones.
Nice pursuit by Samson Hodges on that, and then Michael McGuire to come in and help him out.
Long 13 yards to go.
3rd and 13.
Ball is on their own 45-yard line.
We're seeing a much better Spartan defense right now in this second half. Again, penalties are killing the Spartans, on the offense. So clean
Timeout.
up the two things.
I'm sorry about that, Dennis. Timeout on the field. The Pythons take a timeout. We'll continue our conversation about other Spartan sports. Girls volleyball team here at Milford is 4-1 currently, tied for second in Division II. They had a nice win on September 18th at Laconia, 3-1. They won their match. Boys soccer also showing some results this year. 4 wins, 1 loss, 2 ties, tied for 5th. Pretty much in the middle of the pack in the NHIAA Division II. The conference they play in. We mentioned field hockey now 2-5 after today's win. And girls soccer unfortunately falling to Bow, but still very much in the chase.
And very good soccer team, the girls soccer program. And the boys soccer program as well is just they're having a great season this year, one of their first good seasons, and they're excited.
Spartan defense takes the field, 3rd down and 13 now. As we are at the 2:53 mark of the 3rd quarter. 7-0 is your score. Low scoring game. If you like defensive football, this is the space. This is the place to be. Also, if you happen to be the parent of an official, this is a great game too, with flags all over the place. Hoey looking to pass, completes his pass to Caton. Caton working up the left sideline. Not going to pick up the first down though.
To Caton.
4th and about 3, we're told here in the booth. The ball is at the Spartan 45-yard line.
It'll be 4th and a long 3 yards.
Maybe even 4 yards. That's a healthy 3. Well, they just moved it to 4 here at Spartan Field.
It'll be 4th and 4. The ball is on the Spartan 45.
Pythons showing some guts here, going for it on 4th down and 4. Hoey under center. Looking over the Spartan defense. Looking to draw the Spartans offside. They may well take a timeout and step out of this. Still no indication from the Python sideline. Maybe content to take a penalty, I'm not sure. We have the flag now as the play clock ran down. Flag in the defensive backfield.
Not sure what was going on there on the Pelham side. Looks like a little miscommunication between quarterback and the coaching staff.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that penalty is going to hurt them, though. I mean, they were looking to probably draw the Spartans offside and get an easy first down. That penalty moves them back 5 yards now in their territory. Ball's on the nose of the ball's on the 50-yard line. Zach Jones back to punt. Probably the result Python's head coach was looking for anyway.
Could be.
Jones' punt is away, clean. Nice punt to angle to the right sideline. Fielded there cleanly by Gavin Erda. He squirts up the right sideline to about the 30-yard line.
On the return.
So a nice defensive spot on the stop on the Spartan side. And now we're going to see what we can do here on offense.
Bend but don't break on defense. If the Spartans can avoid the penalty bug and sustain a drive, they would have an opportunity to punch the ball into the end zone. But penalties have absolutely killed the Spartan offense tonight.
It really has been the offsides and the holding penalties that have caused the 10-yard losses every time we've gained a 20-yard gain.
Ball is spotted at the 27-yard line of the Spartans. 1st and 10 Jake Tewksbury comes to the near side, left side of the Spartan offense. Junior Ugu in a tight formation, fullback position behind Erda. The give is, I believe, to Hanrahan running off tackle right. Solid run by Sean Hanrahan.
Looks like a good 8 or 9 yard gain on that.
Again, Sean Hanrahan had 2 carries against Manchester West, both for touchdowns, 32 yards total. Coach Jones just couldn't talk enough about the senior's blocking abilities. Not the biggest guy out there, but when he gets running, there's a lot of go, not a whole lot of whoa. He runs hard and he throws blocks hard, too. Andrew Burns comes wide left for the Spartans at the 2-minute mark of the third quarter, still down 7-0. Same formation as the previous play. The give is to Ugu up the center, running hard, picks up the first down, plus another couple of 6, maybe 7 yards beyond that, moves the chains. Spartan once again showing that their running attack can sustain a drive. The question for the rest of this night will be, can they stay away from that dirty laundry littering the field?
Absolutely. We're seeing Junior Ugu starting to run hard right now. That dive play brought him out 10 yards. Nice gain by the Spartans.
Ball is spotted on the 47-yard line of the Spartans, looking to push the ball into Python territory. Hussey wide right for the Spartans. Erda under center. Zielinski in motion. Erda gives the ball to Zielinski. Zielinski running hard. First down and more. Caden Zielinski, sophomore running back, running hard.
We're seeing the Spartan running backs run hard right now. A little bit of magician magic there. I completely followed Junior Ugu getting a 2-yard gain. And there we see Zielinski coming out with a 12-yard gain.
But we also may be seeing the experience of the Spartan offensive line, too. Senior laden, working against a Python defensive line that has several underclassmen as their primary interior defensive linemen. The Spartans are looking to impose their will here in the second half. Give is to Hanrahan. Hanrahan turns the corner. And again, that yellow flag coming out of the backfield. Defensive backfield, though. So we're going to have to wait and see what the back judge has to say on this play. We're under a minute remaining. Holding against the Spartans. Once again, solid running effort. And yet it's negated by penalties that, quite honestly, don't look like they're part of the play.
Exactly.
Away from the ball.
They are away from the play.
Coach Keith Jones talking to the white hat, the referee, trying to get an explanation and an understanding of what it is that his players are doing wrong. Now talking to his senior quarterback as the ball is marched back to the 47-yard line.
Penalty moves the ball back to the Python 47-yard line.
Go ahead, Dennis.
With so many holding penalties right now against Spartans, you almost wonder if it's a technique thing that the refs are picking up on that maybe isn't something normally picked up on.
Tewksbury wide right, Erda under center. The give is to Barnhill. Barnhill turns the corner on the right side, still on his feet, makes 2 men miss, and he drags another one for a nice gain. Logan Barnhill.
Driving his feet hard.
39
seconds left in the third quarter here.
Logan Barnhill, the second sophomore running back for the Spartans. The future is bright at that position for the Milford Spartans with both Caden Zielinski and Logan Barnhill contributing significantly as sophomore running backs on the senior-laden team.
Certainly, and we can also see Barnhill as a quarterback if it needed be.
The give is to Hannon. Hannon is running hard to the left side, turns the corner, brought down on the edge by 2 Pythons.
Gain is good enough for a first down.
Everybody's slow getting up out of this pile. That was a hard hit. Tyler...
Evan Haskins on the tackle for the Pythons.
Evan Haskins and Colby Travis. That's who I was looking for. Colby Travis's name. That's a kid that's flying all over the field in the defensive backfield, linebacker position
certainly
for
his name a few times.
For the Pythons. Timeout on the field. Nope. End of the third quarter, excuse me. Lost track of the clock there, Dennis. We're going to flip ends of the field, and the Spartans will continue 1st and 10. when we start the final 12 minutes of play. If you like defensive football, you have to like this game. And as I said a few moments ago, if you like the officials, you have to like this game because we're seeing flags on virtually every other play, basically.
We are seeing some more, more flags once again with the holding calls, but we have seen the offensive line and the defensive line step up. So we're not getting pushed back anymore. We're doing some of the pushing. We're moving the ball. Looking forward to a fourth quarter. Probably the fastest quarter we had was this third quarter so far.
When the Spartan offensive line gets off the ball, we talked about this in the first half, when they initiate, and they know the snap count, so there's really no reason why they shouldn't, when they initiate contact and get their feet moving and penetrate the defensive line, the running backs look like they're running downhill.
Right.
They get up ahead of steam, and it looks like they have the ability to impose their will, but every time they start moving the ball effectively, bang, here comes another piece of yellow laundry on the field.
So I'd love to know what that conversation was that Coach Jones had with the referee on that last penalty.
You wonder if those conversations are helpful or not, because sometimes when you have a conversation with the official, it just ingrains them more with their call, and they become adamant about their call. Sometimes you can plant a seed. We've got Hussey wide right for the Spartans. I believe that's Zielinski or Matt. Who do we have? Yeah, Zielinski turning and running backwards. I've seen him do that a couple of times. I'm not sure he wants to turn his back and run backwards down the field.
Right.
It's one thing if you're going to make a spin move and keep going. It'd be nice to see him finish that move, finish the spin, and then run with his pads down. He's exposing his kidneys, his back. That's something that I think the head coaching staff here with the Spartans are going to have to work with their young back to improve upon. I've seen him do that all 3 games, but this in particular really surprised me.
Actually, see on the field right now, Ange, the trainer, is actually down over there talking to the coaches and him. So that could be a conversation he's having with.
Tyler Hamlin split to the left side for the Spartan offense. Hanrahan in motion. The give is to Hanrahan. He's still pumping his feet. Met basically at the line of scrimmage by the entire right side. Colby Travis was there, the primary tackler for the Pythons.
Gain of about 2 yards on the play.
11-12 to play in the fourth quarter. 7-0. Spartans are gonna, if they want to post a win and stay undefeated here, they're gonna have to find the end zone at some point. Second down, 9. Ball is on the Python 18-yard line. Jake Tewksbury wide right for the Spartans. Ugu in the backfield. Logan Barnhill is fake to Barnhill. Erda running to the right, tries to turn the corner, can't do that. Here comes another flag. It's almost like we're watching the NFL last week. So we'll let the officials sort this penalty out.
It's over where the tackle was, so I'm almost wondering if it's a late hit.
Personal foul is being called by the referee.
The call is a personal foul.
We're assuming that the personal foul call is against Pelham, but we'll wait for the clarification. 10:42 remaining in the game. Personal foul is being signaled again against the Pythons. We have confirmation of that. That will move the ball.
Moves the ball to inside the 10-yard line.
That will move the ball inside the 10-yard line. So the Spartans are knocking on the door and looking to change the complexion of this game.
So first down and 9.
First and goal, 9-yard line. Andrew Burns wide right. 3 running backs in the backfield. The give is to, I believe that's Zielinski. He's met at the line. The entire defensive line of the Pythons. Really nothing there. Probably a misread by the quarterback, who's really charged with making the decision whether to give or not. It's a triple option offense that the Spartans run here. A lot of people think it's run pass. It has nothing to do with run pass. It has to do with whether to give to the fullback. If not, you keep it. If you keep it, your next choice is whether to give it to the setback that's usually coming around the backfield. So now we have Hussey wide left. Ugu in the backfield with Zielinski. Hanrahan in motion. The give is to Hanrahan. Probably the most effective play of the night. Hanrahan running around the left edge. Picks up a few yards. Ball is now spotted on the Python 5-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd and goal.
Colby Travis on the stop for the Pythons. It'll be 3rd and goal.
9:34, clock is ticking. Spartans would like to score and have an opportunity to score again and win this game.
We need a big push.
Ball control has been the hallmark of this team so far in this early season and in this game. Tewksbury comes near side right. Erda under center. Big Junior Ugu in the backfield behind him. Erda keeps the ball. He's looking to tuck it up inside. Now pops it to the outside. He's got one block from Zielinski. Steps into the end zone. Gavin Erda scores for the Spartans. Spartans pull within 1 point. At the 9:04 mark, 7-6 is your score. Point after pending. No flags on the field. We want to take our time here. We've had some late flags, and we've had a lot of flags and a lot of laundry tonight. But that play looks like it will stand, and the Spartans pull to within 1. And on to attempt the extra point, soccer player Colin Gregg. We didn't have him at Manchester West. Spartans missed 2 extra point attempts in that game. Colin Gregg, the soccer player, out of the hold of Gavin Erda. Snap from Forsley is good. The kick is up, and it is good. We have a brand new ball game here at Spartan Field. 7-7 is your score, and the Spartan faithful have something to cheer for now.
We have a brand new game. We have a Spartan defense and offense that have come out to play the second half. That last play was a classic option play where Gavin Erda had Junior Ugu possibly a handoff to him, chose maybe Sean Hanrahan, and that wasn't quite there, so he kept it himself and ran to the corner.
So when we talk about a triple option, we talk about possibly handing off to that fullback. We talk about the second option is to keep it. The third option is to pitch it. There are really a couple more options that come into play there too. Erda, when he decided to keep the ball, he tried to tuck it up inside that tackle. Didn't have that, and so rather than try to squeeze through that, he simply trusted his athleticism, bounced it to the outside, picked up a great block from Caden Zielinski on the corner, right at the end zone, and that allowed him to step across the end zone and put the Spartans right back in this ball game.
Right. You're looking at probably one of the most athletic kids on the field right now, and Gavin Erda has the speed to make those decisions at the last second.
Colin Gregg, the soccer player from the Milford Spartans soccer program, set to kick off for the Milford Spartans kickoff team. Deep is Caton. Ball will come down to Caton. Center of the field, running hard, big hole on the left side, and he almost broke that one. Coming in hard was Tyler Hamlin.
Big hole there. We did see Logan Barnhill fill that hole. Luckily, some feet let go on the field there and was down there at the 33-yard line.
Nate Gagnon putting pressure on the kickoff return man, Caton, as well. So Pelham Pythons haven't scored since their first drive of the game. Time of possession here in the second half still dominated by the Spartans. This bend but don't break defense of the Spartans has to stand up once again.
Yeah, and that first Pelham score was when we gave the ball up down around the 35-yard line to Pelham. So, again, bend, don't break, and Spartans defense is on the ball here.
Ian Hoey, the quarterback for the Pythons, out of the shotgun, drops back, throws it downfield. That's intended for Travis. It is unclear whether it was caught in bounds or not.
Looks like incomplete.
Incomplete.
Intended for Colby Travis was incomplete. Broken up by Milford's Trevor Coyne.
So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 from the Python 33-yard line.
We talked about testing our corners. That was probably the first time that we've seen Trevor Coyne get tested. Was a little bit behind on there, but his speed brought him into the play and was able to interfere just enough to get the incomplete.
Hoey again in the shotgun, double slot formation here. Fake to Caton. Now he's dropping back, looking for the screen pass. Completes it to Caton in the right flat. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and not a whole lot more there. But we have
a fumble.
We may have a fumble on. We have a fumble on the tackle. Looks like Logan Barnhill came up with the. Looks like he made a nice strip tackle on that play.
Absolutely.
The turnover gives the Spartans
First 3.5 quarters of this game were all about the fumble that Milford put on the ground on the second play from scrimmage. This second half rather, time of possession dominated by the Spartans. Turnover now may be the key to this game here. Late fourth quarter, late in the game, 8:41 to play in the fourth quarter. 7-7 is your score. Spartans in great field position here. Again, knocking on the door. Jake Tewksbury comes wide right for the Spartans. Joe Shepard switching sides, left to right. In motion is Zielinski. He takes the ball, sweeps to the right side, short gain for the sophomore running back. He's met by two Pythons, Jake Hurling and Caton.
Charlie Caton on the tackle for the Pythons. The ball is just inside the Python 30-yard line.
So I'll take your phrase again on the bend, don't break. Here we are in the second half here. Stayed close enough even with all the penalties, and the Spartans have the ball.
Andrew Burns wide left for the Spartans. Shepard switching sides once again. Right to left this time. Hanrahan in motion. The give is to Hanrahan. Off tackle to the left side. Running hard. Short gain for Hanrahan. 2, maybe 3.
Hanrahan on the carry.
I'll bring a third down. 7:48 as the clock continues to roll in a tie ball game. 7-7. You know, Coach Jones talked about playing these Pythons years ago. The recent record has been 7-0 Milford all over the Pythons, but he talked about a game from years ago that was a close game, and that the Spartans lost in overtime to Coach Thomas Babian. Tight formation again for the Spartans. Ugu in the backfield. Erda keeps the ball. He's corralled in the backfield, but he drags the Python player with him. Takes 3 Pythons to bring him down. Couple of, looks like Caton is injured on the play, or at least slow in getting up. That brings up a 4th down for the Spartans at about their 23.5-yard line. Perhaps a decision to make for Coach Jones to put in his sophomore kicker, Colin Gregg, attempt the field goal, or do you go for the, with your running offense? You've got a high-flying running offense, 299 yards a game. You need 2 yards. You need a yard and a half. Who do you give it to?
Tough to say, because normally I'd say Junior Ugu, but we've seen where we've made the decision and gained the respect of Sean Hanrahan.
Little confusion on the play. Looks like an equipment issue with the quarterback. And appears that the Spartans are either taking timeout. We'll see what we have here from the officials. Spartans were trying to get up to the line of scrimmage, but players were putting their hands in the air, and looked like Junior Ugu was playing with Gavin Erda's face mask. Not sure what was going on there. Definitely, regardless, there is a timeout on the field. 4th and 2. 6:22 to play. 7-7 is your score. If you like high school football, you can't have a better game than tonight. Weather is perfect. The lights are on. Full stands here at Milford Spartan Field.
Certainly appears we may have sold out in the concession stand, too. I have never seen it closed down before the end of the game.
Well, they just want to watch the second half.
That could be.
No, there's plenty of food in the concession stand. They just want to watch the second half. It's a close game.
We did put televisions in the concession stand today, so they are watching our live feed on Facebook. So maybe that is what it is. They're having a party, and they're watching our great commentation.
I don't believe they sold out because they were supposed to bring us stuff at halftime.
That's true. We did not see our tray come up here.
2nd and 2. Spartans knocking on the door, trying to sustain this drive. Not only sustain the drive, keep the clock running, try to score the touchdown here, the go-ahead touchdown if they can. We'll also have to see what that timeout does later in this game, if that will come back to haunt the Spartans. Tewksbury wide right, Erda under center. Hanrahan in motion. Erda has the ball. He keeps it. He passes intended for Ugu. Pass is intercepted by number 2, Charlie Caton. Amazing to me that this team lives by the run. Has demonstrated in the first half that it does not have a consistent passing attack. On 4th and 2, may have overthought that play.
Exactly, and this is actually, we had the option here, and I'm surprised Gavin didn't tuck that in and take the open hole.
Looked like he had a 5-6 yard cushion anyway. And when you consider that you have a 242-pound fullback in Junior Ugu and you only needed to pick up 2 yards, and of course, just as we say that, the food is being brought up to the press box.
We embarrassed them in the concession stand.
So the Pythons take over deep in their territory, 1st and 10. They're taking their time as they call out their signals. Split formation to the near side. Huey hands it off to Travis.
Samson Hodges with a nice tackle.
Travis with a short gain, about 1.5 yards, maybe 2. So once again, turnovers hurting the Spartans. 2 turnovers in this game for the Spartans that are now directly, potentially going to affect the outcome of this game. Not quite sure I understand why you don't just turn around and hand the ball to Junior Ugu and let him batter his way up there for a 2-yard gain and sustain the drive.
We haven't seen Ugu with the ball this half.
The give is to Caton. Caton turns the left side near the near sideline, brought down by Logan Barnhill.
Just shy of a first down, I believe.
Short gain for the Pythons, bringing up 3rd down and 4.
Gain leaves the ball.
Ball is just shy of the 20-yard line. Spartans need a big defensive stop here.
They certainly do. We need to see the defensive line step up. We see Junior Ugu come in place of Dan McHugh at that nose guard spot.
Those two have shuttled back and forth and shared time in that position. Here come the Pythons. Jake Hurling wide left. Hoey keeps it up the middle, and he's met there by the entire left side of the Spartan defensive line. Definitely did not pick up the first down.
Samson Hodges having a great game today.
Really is. Looking forward to talking to Coach Jones about not only about the penalties that have hurt his team and been, killing his offense in particular. Really want to talk to him about his interior offensive and defensive linemen. 4th and about 4, maybe 3.5. Zach Jones back to punt for the Pythons. Gavin Erda, Logan Barnhill deep for the Spartans. Barnhill a little shorter at the 49-yard line. Gavin Erda at the 45. Jones's punt is away. It's a short punt, right side. Spartans are going to be content to let that roll to just inside their 40-yard line, 38-yard line of the Spartans, where they'll take over 1st and 10. Under 4 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Tie ball game. 7-7 is your score. Spartans have shown they can move the ball. The Spartans have not shown that they can stay away from the turnovers or the penalties.
Right, now they got to show us that in 3 minutes and 54 seconds they can score. We talked about Samson Hodges on that defense playing, having a great game. I'd be remiss to not mention Kyle Forsley as well. Kyle was also this week's hometown hero on WMUR. So a great feat for Kyle. He's a great person, great student, and a great captain for the Milford Spartans.
Senior tri-captain, just showing a lot of poise as a young man, good sportsman, interior offensive lineman, center. The give is to Zielinski up the middle. Nice gain. He's still running, and he broke a tackle and just couldn't keep his feet. That extra burst, however, moves the chains for the Spartans just shy of the 50-yard line. Zielinski a little slow in coming up, getting up. He's hobbling off the field. Great run by the sophomore running back. Looks like an ankle.
Hopefully he's all right on that one. Definitely a nice hard run. Nice stiff hit he made on that, and gained a couple more yards after that. The
initial hit is what caused him to stumble, but he was able to take 2 or 3 more steps and pick up the first down. Nose of the ball on the 50-yard line, 3:30 to play. Erda surveys the backfield, under center, gives the ball to, he keeps the ball, drops back, pass for Hanrahan, caught in the flat. Hanrahan picks up a block from Joe Shepard. Hanrahan, nice gain on the reception. Erda, Hanrahan. Great block by the tight end, Joe Shepard. Allowed Hanrahan to pick up another 4, maybe 5.
Certainly. And we're starting to see some different plays that we haven't seen previously in any of the games. The Spartans pulling something out of the book to try and get down here in the field. We've got 3 minutes, 7 seconds left.
Ball spotted at the Spartan 29-yard line, 1st down and 10. And it appears that we have a timeout on the field. At the 3-minute mark, tie ball game. Pelham calling the timeout. Really the momentum shifting in favor of the Spartans. After that, Caden Zielinski run, he's still being worked on here on the sideline by the Spartan trainer as Coach Jones huddles up with his offense. They've really mixed it up tonight after showing dominance in the run game in the first 2 games. They've tried to establish the pass, haven't really been all that successful, and that interception really hurt the Spartans' drive earlier. But that balanced attack, or at least the misdirection, the added element of throwing the ball around a little bit, forcing the Pythons to maybe play a little bit more flat-footed than they did in the first half. Spartans take the field now. Band is playing. Stands are full. If you're not here, where are you? It's a great game.
Nobody has left.
Colin Gregg, the place kicker for the Spartans, warming up on the sidelines in the event that he has an opportunity to try a field goal. Barnhill in motion. He takes the ball inside the tackles. He's brought down after a short gain, moves the down marker a yard, maybe 2, 3. Be a second down. They're moving the yard marker on me a little bit, so it's hard to tell. I think that was about a 2-yard gain.
And certainly now you start thinking about Colin Gregg with that leg, where we kind of mentioned it as a possibility, but we had a few more minutes than we did on the clock doing that. Now we're getting on the clock period where we start looking, saying, hey, do we use him?
In addition to that, one of our keys to the game, ball security. At this point of the game, if at any other point of the game, ball security is critical, and we have Matt Hannon running to the left side. No gain really on the play.
Did not fool Pelham on that play.
Pelham snuffed that one out, so that'll bring up a 3rd down and 7, unless he lost half a yard. We're going to reach the 2-minute mark here of the 4th quarter. Yeah, loss of a yard on the play brings up a 3rd down and 8. Again, Spartans don't want to move backwards because they want to give their sophomore kicker, Colin Gregg, every opportunity if it comes down to that. Andrew Burns wide to the right, Erda under center. Erda gives to Ugu. Ugu running hard. Running hard up the middle, centers the ball, middle of the field, short gain, 4th and 5. Decision time for head coach Keith Jones, 19-year head coach of the Milford Spartans. Twice he's been to the state championship game, won it once, and this team, loaded with seniors, 22 seniors, has expectations to not just make noise in the state playoffs, but advance to the title game and have a legitimate shot to win. A win tonight would go a long ways towards that, and he's gambling with his offense. Putting his offense on the field, 4th and 5. Hanrahan in motion. Erda, senior, rolling to the right, looking to run. This time he tucks it. He's still on his feet, forced out of bounds.
And he's short.
He's going to come up short of the 1st down.
Erda on the carry.
Certainly the Pythons think that he came up short. The officials now confirm that and indicate that the Spartans have turned it over on downs inside a minute, deep in Python territory. Now let's not forget, the Pythons are very good at throwing the ball. At 256 yards of passing offense coming into this game, Ian Hoey is a very established quarterback, top 5 quarterback in the South Conference here in New Hampshire's Division II. He's only got 47.2 seconds remaining and a long field.
And an untested defense of corners on the Milford Spartans.
Hanrahan, Trevor Coyne, the 2 corners for the Spartans, with Gavin Erda playing center field. Hoey under center. Split formation near sideline. Hoey gives it to...
Hard hit, Joe Shepard with a nice hard hit on
Matt
that tackle.
Mwees. Joe Shepard just leveled Matt Mwees. A nice, tough hit right there. Nice to see both players bounce up and rush, go back to their respective huddles. That was a good, solid football play. Clock is running. I think Coach Thomas Babian is content to let this clock run, maybe get off one more play. It'll be overtime.
We don't see that very often. Certainly not in the past 3 weeks in any of the
Spartans need to make one more stop here, though. Hoey decides to take a knee, and that was an easy stop.
Right.
So two head coaches that talked about each other with a lot of respect for each other's programs, talked about a lot of respect for the kids on each team, the size on the offensive and defensive lines for both teams. These coaches know each other. They've played against, their programs have played against each other for many years. And that respect turns into a kneel down. They could have taken one more play, but both coaches are content to come back to the center field, talk about overtime, flip the coin, and here we go, overtime. Both of these teams looking to make noise in the state playoffs, want to get past each other and improve on their season. For the Pythons, that would mean moving their record to 2 wins and 1 loss, and it repositions them nicely in the conference. Milford wanting to make sure that it keeps pace with Sauhegan. We don't know what Sauhegan is doing tonight at this point. We'll find out at some point. They're 2-0. They go to 3-0. Milford, if they should fall to 2-1, they still have to play Sauhegan on October 4th. So a lot riding on this game for a third game of the season.
Certainly does.
Correct. Okay. You're welcome, Brian. Steve, what's the rules for overtime? Everybody in the crowd has no idea. Well, they get 3 minutes between and then...
So we have a 3-minute interval before overtime will commence. Coaches are talking to their players. We'll establish the overtime rules for you in just a moment here in New Hampshire's Division II schoolboy football. My understanding is the ball will be placed at the 25-yard line. Each team will have an opportunity on offense to score, and then the other team will have an opportunity to match. So while we wait for that, we will listen to the sounds of the Spartan Marching Band as we wait for the start of overtime.
Okay, another reminder, if you happen to own a Honda automobile and your keys are not in your pocket, we have them. Please come and get them. We don't want to have them locked up here when you can't leave.
Friday, September 20th, early in the season in New Hampshire's Division II football South Conference, Pelham Pythons came to Milford looking to improve on their 1-1 season. Milford Spartans 2-0, looking to go to 3-0. At the end of regulation, neither team has accomplished their goal. We're tied up at 7-7. The captains for both teams are at midfield now, discussing overtime with the officials. And
should be doing a coin toss.
Coin toss has been done. The officials are talking to the Pythons. The discussion here in the booth about the NHIAA rules for overtime. My understanding is that both teams will have an opportunity to play offense with the ball. The ball will be placed, I believe, on the 20 or 25-yard line. And both teams will have untimed downs. The play clock will run on the field. What do we have here now? We're marching to the left end zone.
The ball is going to the north end zone.
So I'm not sure who won the coin toss, but that team gets to pick what end zone they have.
Lots of conversation between the officials and the coaching staffs of both teams. Ball is being tossed out to the
So Spartans would have won the coin.
I have to confess, Dennis, I'm not sure about the overtime rules here in New Hampshire. I'm a basketball official. I'm not as well versed in the high school overtime rules as perhaps I should be. Ball is placed, it appears to be on the 10-yard line.
Tying the score.
So I believe they have 4 downs to make a touchdown and score.
Then Pelham will win.
That would explain why the ball is placed on the 10-yard line. Tewksbury wide left. Full backfield for the Spartans. Erda gives to, I believe it's Barnhill, again turning his back like Zielinski did earlier. But he moved the ball probably 3-yard, 4-yard gain. Ball was placed on the 5-yard line. Spartans looking to score. They've moved the ball well all night, have had a hard time scoring. Penalties and turnovers have hurt the Spartans. But with the clock off here at Spartan Field, Andrew Burns moves wide left for the Spartans. Again, full backfield. Spartans lining up, and Gavin Erda gives to, is that Zielinski or Barnhill?
Right down to the
right on the goal line. Right on the goal line. Barnhill with the carry. Giving the ball to the sophomore running back twice in a row here, and he's moved the ball 9 yards. 3rd and goal for the Spartans. Looks like head coach Keith Jones is basically saying strength versus strength. We believe in our offensive line more than you can believe in your defensive line. The Pythons start 3 underclassmen on their defensive line, and I think head coach Keith Jones is just looking to punch it in.
Right.
3rd and goal, 1-yard line. Tight formation for the Spartans. The give was to, I believe, Hanrahan.
Touchdown.
Looks like he's in. Spartans are signaling. Officials are not signaling. There we go. FAR official is now signaled touchdown. Spartans take the lead in overtime, 13-7.
And again, we've called Sean Hanrahan's name several times this evening, several times the past 2 games. And I don't know why Junior Ugu hasn't been the name that we called, other than Sean Hanrahan's just had an outstanding game again.
I'm just glad that we're calling his name and we're not saying there's a penalty after his run.
Exactly.
I think the reason why you might be not seeing Ugu handle the ball at this crunch time, and here's the all-important extra point. Colin Gregg's kick is up, and it is good. So the Spartans, 14-7 here in overtime. What I was about to say, Dennis, was we might not be hearing Ugu's name in crunch time because he put the ball on the field. He did it in the first game against the Cavaliers. He did it on the second play from scrimmage here tonight. May have lost the faith of head coach Keith Jones.
I'd be surprised if that's really the case. That could be, but I wonder if maybe that he's been the fake that we know Pelham's going to go for.
Little misdirection.
A little misdirection. We've seen Junior take it hard down the middle, and Gavin fake that pass, fake the handoff off to him, but then give it to several different options.
It's test time for the Spartans. They have to pass this test to demonstrate their dominance here in Division II football. Hoey takes the snap out of the...
Joe Shepard with a nice takedown on that pass.
Took the snap out of the shotgun. Pass was intended, I believe, for Zach Jones. Joe Shepard with a fingertip on the ball, knocks it down. 2nd and 10. Spartans came into this game really a little unsure how they would handle this balanced attack. Pythons come out on that first play in overtime, spread the Spartans out, and we saw some good pass defense from the linebacking core.
It's nice when the commentator can call his son's number once in a while.
Here come the Pythons, 2nd play in overtime from the Milford 10-yard line going in. Caton, the only running back. Again, the Pythons spreading out the Spartans. Hoey looking to the left corner of the end zone. Pass intended and is caught. Touchdown. The catch was by Colby Travis, senior receiver for the Pythons. Nice fade pattern to the pylon. And the Spartans now have to defend an extra point attempt by the Pelham Pythons.
We tested our corners there. That time, Sean Hanrahan getting tested by a much taller Pelham player.
Timeout on the field taken by Pelham. Wonder here if Coach Tom Bababian is talking to his players about going for 1, maybe a trick play, maybe go for 2. Any number of things in an experienced head coach's bag if he has the team to run the play. Spartans have to be disciplined here and make sure the snap goes to the holder if, in fact, they line up for the kick, and that they kick the ball. Right. That'd be a gutsy call. Although, what's the old adage? When you're on the road, you play for the tie. When you're at home, you play for the win.
Play for the win, right.
We'll have to see what the wily old coach for the Pythons has in his bag tonight. Teams are huddled up. Pythons are on the field. Spartans are on their sideline with their coaching staff. 14-13 currently your score, extra point pending. Spartan faithful cheering on their 2-0 Spartans against the currently 1-1 Pythons.
Is a big opportunity for our defensive line to make a big push and make a nice block.
Milford Spartans won a state championship by defending an extra point in 1984. Be interesting to see if there are any parallels with that team and this team on this play. Spread offensive formation for the Pythons. Hoey looking to go back. Intercepted in the end zone. Logan Barnhill picks off Hoey. The ball game is over. 14-13. Milford Spartans dodge a bullet here. Pelham Pythons came into Milford Spartan Field and gave the Spartans all they could handle, but an interception in the end zone by Logan Barnhill seals it, and the Spartan faithful are going crazy here in the stands.
Kudos to Pelham, though, going for it, going for the win. Didn't want to go in for another overtime. Chalked it up, and Logan Barnhill with the nice interception.
Gutsy call by the head coach of the Pelham Pythons. Goes against the old adage of playing for the tie on the road.
Right.
Tries for the win, give them a lot of credit, but the Pelham Pythons fall to 1 win against 2 losses. They've lost to last year's state runner-up, and now the Milford Spartans. They fall to 1-2. Spartans, however, they improved to 3-0. They took care of business against Hollis Brookline. They took care of business against Manchester West. They were tested tonight, had a tough first half, lots of penalties in the first half. 2 key turnovers really soured the complexion of this game for the Spartans. Late touchdowns, however, and a great effort by Logan Barnhill in the end zone seals the win for the Milford Spartans.
Certainly does, and this is a great test for the Milford Spartans. We had a senior core that were very confident coming into this game. Didn't feel like they had been tested. They feel very confident about getting to the championship this year. This is a good test. Pelham came in here. They wanted the game, and I'm sure tomorrow's video, or Monday, we'll be looking at this game, and Coach Jones will have some things to say and some things to fix.
So on that note, a few programming notes for you. We'll get all of the stats and statistics from our statistician and drive charter, Dan Betty, who's been helping us out here in the booth. We want to thank our media manager, Chris Gentry, and Granite Town Media, and some programming notes for you. The Coach's Corner show featuring head coach of the Milford Spartans, Keith Jones, being filmed every week right here at Spartan Field. Those videos will be posted to the YouTube page. Go check out Granite Town Media's Facebook page. There are links there. We're told that 3 weeks of those shows will be posted by the end of this weekend. Also, the first 3 games, including this one, should be up on that YouTube page. And at some point, we hope to be having a broadcast on Local Access Channel 20, Milford's Local Access Channel. And those of you watched and joined us streaming live right here on Facebook, thanks for coming out and thanks for joining us tonight. Dennis, great game. And Spartans improved to 3-0. You have to be happy.
Have to be happy. I'm excited. And like I said, back to work on Monday.
For Dennis Shepard, Chris Gentry, and Dan Betty, and all of the other staff at Granite Town Media, I'm Kevin St. Ange, thanking you for tuning in and reminding you to look for the Coach's Corner. Oh, I meant to mention Spartan Spotlight, where we talk to Spartan football players about their football story as they go throughout this 2019 season. I'm Kevin St. Ange saying thank you for the Milford Football Booster Club, and saying goodnight, so long, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks, October 4th, when the Spartans play host to the Sabres of Souhegan High School. That is also going to be a night where we celebrate the 1984 state championship winning team. We'll talk to some of the older players that are coming back to visit. And Dennis, on behalf of the Milford Spartan Booster Club, we want to thank you for your support, Milford. We'll see you at the next game.
Have a great night.